Excuse me, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, you guys. Happy Monday.
Who has coffee and what are you drinking? What's in it? If anything.
Ooh. We're in our second cup today. The reason why we're late this morning is because we had to get another cup of coffee.
We are human and we were ill prepared, and so that is what happens. We are not immune to human behavior, though it may seem as though we are perfect in every way, shape, or form.
Far from it. Far from it.
We struggle with the same things y'all do.
Okay, however, today we're gonna it's Mindset Monday, and we're gonna talk about some real talk.
A lot of times Erin comes to church when we
I'll begin with a story. And
wait, what did you make the topic of this?
No sacrifice, no results. Okay,
perfect.
I'll begin with a story, and I'm going to share with you like a glimpse of a coaching moment that I had with one of my very dear one-on-one clients, Dawn. And I think it was like 2 weeks into like when we started coaching, she texted me one day and she was telling me, I'm craving pizza really bad right now. How do you recommend that I make it? So I said, honestly, Dawn, real talk. In order for you to get to where you want to get, I recommend that you stay away from eating pizza unless it's an intentional meal, not because you're craving it. And now the reason why I told her that is because here's the thing. I believe, and this is a notion that I created, that there is such a thing as a fat person's thoughts and a fat person's behavior, right? And now many of you may disagree with me, and if you do, feel free to drop it in the comments. I really don't care. You can't expect to be lean and get to your goal while eating pizza every time you get a craving. That's just the reality of it.
Even if it's a healthier version.
Even if it's a healthier version. And I think that, a big part of why people fail to get to their goals when they try to is because they don't make sacrifices. Now, I'm not saying that you can't eat pizza forever if that's something that you love. That is not the true. Some people that I know in this room who love pizza and still eat it, but are being intentional about it when they eat it, are people like Mark Fleek, for example. Good morning, Lauren Koch. Lindsay, I'm not sure what's your level of love for pizza, but that's just an example.
Everybody has their thing.
Right. Everybody has their thing, and you can't expect to have that thing that you love on a regular basis while still losing weight. That's just the reality of it, because that's a food that's simply not going to help you get to your goals. Should you want to use it as a celebratory meal, by all means, great. However, when you get a craving for it, you can't just go for it every single time, because if that is the case, then we're not changing our behavior.
There's a lack of discipline.
So to end that, quick.
Can I jump in before you end it?
Yeah, I just wanted to end the story with what happened.
Okay.
So to end the story with Dawn, she's like, you know what? I never really thought about it before. Thank you. And then she went and ended up making fish. And this is an example of a sacrifice. You may love pizza, and something that I hear very often is, but I love food. As if I don't. As if I don't love peanut butter and chocolate. Go ahead.
So we're not saying that you can never enjoy what you want to enjoy and still make progress to your goals. That's not what we're saying. You should be able to. There is a way. If you worked with us one-on-one, we've helped you through this, but there are times where you have to sacrifice. And what happens is you end up building discipline. And everybody's at a different stage in their journey. So your discipline looks different than our discipline, or maybe it looks the same. I don't know. But the level of your discipline will determine the level and quality of your life.
Ooh.
Let me say it again. Your level of discipline will determine the level and quality of your life.
So freaking true.
Because in any way, now let's talk about our bodies in general. Let's talk about our health and wellness, because that's what we do. But if you don't build discipline and continue building, you will forever struggle. People want things, and they say they want things, and in order to get something, you have to give something, right? If you want to get something, you have to give something. Now, I wouldn't say most, I would say there are a large handful of people who either are not willing to make a sacrifice or think that they're making a sacrifice and they're actually not.
Can you give us an example?
You not being willing to sacrifice is one thing. Like you say you want something, but if you're not willing to do what it takes, then you just simply don't want it bad enough. There are then people misinformed or kind of numb to the world, thinking that I don't have an example as far as like this topic is related.
Of sacrificing something?
If you think that if you're entitled, anybody entitled doesn't know that they're entitled. That's why they're entitled. So if you think you deserve something and you're still going to get what you want without giving anything up because you have a sense of entitlement to whatever it is, then you're going to struggle. It's kind of like crazy people are the only ones that don't know they're crazy because they're crazy, right? So that's where there's kind of a numbness. I don't have a specific example as far as like food goes, but that's more like in life in general.
I will give you guys an example.
Food entitlement?
No, like sacrifice.
Oh.
Let's say you love to eat bacon, right? Like if you were to do one-on-one coaching with me, I will find a way to make sure that you're still eating what you love. However, you're going to need to sacrifice how much you're eating.
Right, but that's the sacrifice. That's not like I don't know if there's a such thing as food entitlement. There's such thing as like life entitlement, and that will block you from getting where you want to go. But in this case, it's really, you have to give something to get something. What are you willing to give? And I think that it's actually beneficial for you to write down a list of things you're willing to sacrifice. Does that mean you have to cut it 100%? Not at all. But there is a level of sacrifice that needs to be made. And now you start at the bottom step. You sacrifice to this small degree first. If you're in the wellness challenge, you're seeing what's happening. It's not actually probably happening yet because we've actually just added to what you need to do because most people haven't been eating veggies. So there's not actually been a lot of sacrifice yet, unless it's sacrifice of energy and time to do your 20 minutes of movement. But you start with a small sacrifice, one thing that pushes you just a little bit, right? It challenges, challenging but doable, right? Not overwhelming, okay? That's the first step. Then you challenge that sacrifice. And this step 2 feels like step 1 because you only went up one step. So one step is one step. It's not any bigger than the step you just took, but you're getting further. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
One step is one step every single time. It never feels any more difficult. The next step is not more difficult than the last step because the last step became the new normal.
Right.
So it's incremental, right? And so if people were to say like, Like we get asked, like, what do you eat? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because we've taken so many steps that if you tried to do what we do, you would be ridiculously overwhelmed and you wouldn't succeed most likely.
Yeah.
Unless you've already taken all the other steps and there's just a couple more that you need to take, right? So, but in order to get something, you have to give something. And write down a list. What am I willing to sacrifice? And you can write down all the things and then you can pick, okay, what's the lowest hanging fruit, right? Like, what's the easiest one of these for me to do to feel the progress, to feel the forward momentum, to feel like I'm doing something good, to gain empowerment, to gain confidence in myself, and then take that step.
Yeah, I think, one of the biggest and most important sacrifices that have to be made is right, like we said that there's 3 resources that have to be spent in order for you to get to your results, right? It's an energy effort, it is a time effort, and it is a monetary effort. If you don't sacrifice all 3 of them, then you're just not going to get to where you want to. That's just the reality of it. But I think the most common theme that I see most people struggle with is the time sacrifice, right? Like, I don't have enough time.
Time or money?
I'm going to get to money in just a second. The time sacrifice, it's irrelevant. Here's why it's irrelevant. Because we all have the same 24 hours. Like, you're no different. Just because, like, you have a lot of shit to do means that you're choosing to do that. Right? So now I want to challenge anybody who's been unwilling to sacrifice their time to start making room for time to invest in themselves, right? Whether it's, by taking 15 minutes out of your day to prepare food, or whether it's, taking 15 minutes out of your day to move, right? Look, the initial sacrifice, I think this is a very big misconception, is that people think that the initial sacrifice has to be huge. Mm-hmm. Look, I can't. Let's say if you're like, a single parent, you're working 2 jobs, trying to support your kids. Obviously, you have a shit ton going on. Like, if I were to ask you to sacrifice 2 hours out of your day for your health, that's completely unrealistic and unreasonable. Mm-hmm. However, that does not mean that a sacrifice is not necessary or that you can get to your goals. Like Erin said, there is a ladder. But the reality is that you have to sacrifice things in order to overcome and achieve whatever it is that you want to.
If you struggle with time, if you've thought of time as like the lack that you have and the reason why you can't get to your goal, by the way, switch can't with won't, because that's really the truth, is it either comes down to priority or planning.
Ooh!
If it's not a priority, you won't plan for it. Guess what? Your vacation is a priority. You're going to plan that motherfucker and you're going to block out your calendar and you're going to write vacation in massive letters, right? We don't struggle to plan a vacation because we want it. We want it bad. You have to want it bad. And you have to plan for it and it has to become a priority, right? So first, if you're like, no, I don't have time, think about what are your priorities, and you can look at your bank account and it will tell you what your priorities are. And then you say, okay, if it is a priority, if I'm spending money on vitamins and health foods and all this stuff, right, then plan it. Then it's a lack of planning. You haven't prepared, right? So you need to put in the time blocks where you're going to work out. Okay, if you have kids, like so you're saying you work 2 jobs, whatever, then find a way to either, scoot in an extra 15 minutes in the morning, extra 15 minutes at night so that you can have an extra 30 minutes in the day to do just some movement with your body weight, right? If you're at work and you get a lunch break, go for a jog around the block or something. You know, there are ways. You just need to get more creative with the how.
Yeah.
Because it's not a matter of like what. There's a million things you can do. It's a matter of how. Yeah. How can I? Not I can't. Because really, you just won't.
Yeah.
How can I?
So, you know, really the whole point of this topic, this is the metaphysical, right? Like in order to make room for something, you have to create room. And the only way for you to do that is to basically like give up something else.
Sacrifice.
Yeah. Which means
Ta-da.
Sacrifice, right? Like, you know, let's say for anybody who, you know, let's talk about the money sacrifice. You know, saying that you don't have money for something, again, it's an excuse. And instead of saying you can't, if it's a high enough priority, switch it to won't. The reality is that if you, let's say you want something, right? You're gonna need to create a way to achieve it by making room and by spending less on something else.
How many times have you used a credit card, money you don't have, to buy something you did not need? Not like, oh my God, these shoes, I don't have any like this at my house, so I need them. False. Not a real thing. I've done it a million times.
Yeah.
I can speak on this because I used to be terrible.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say I know what your priority is by looking at your bank account. What do you spend money on? That is your priority, because money, people think it's the most valuable resource. It's not, by the way. Time is. But there are people, I think about the people and circumstances. Okay, what if somebody really didn't have enough money? Well, if you still wanted it, you'd find a way to get money, right? Make more, do overtime, pick up a side job, go mow someone's lawn. Nobody's mowing their lawn right now. Go do it for them.
Hey.
Right? Like, go figure it out. But what was I saying? You'll find a way. Mm-hmm. If we want something bad enough, we find a way to get it. And but here's the thing, is like people will spend money on cars. They'll be like, oh, let me put down a $3,000 deposit on this car that costs $60,000.
Or let me have a car payment that's like half my rent.
That's exactly right. Put $3,000 on a $60,000 car. Your payment's like $600 or $700 a month for freaking 6 years, right? So like, you do that, which a car really gets you nothing. Like you could buy a $3,000 car that will do the same thing as the $60,000 car, which is get you from point A to point B. But it's the cool factor. You don't need a cool factor when you hate yourself when you look in the mirror. Because you don't feel cool anyways. You get out of the car and you still feel not cool.
It don't matter if you drive a pussy magnet. If you ain't a pussy magnet, you get it? And that's why I got all the bitches when I had a 1995 car. Because it's all about your attitude anyways. See what I'm saying? Okay.
Some people know what car we drive right now, and it's actually funny because could we get another car? Absolutely. We're choosing not to on purpose. But it's, you know, and we know a lot of people who are also like very well off, and, you know, we roll up, you know, you gotta kick it and whatever. But the thing is,
that's not true.
That's not true. The hubcap falls off and rolls down the street. The door
Baby,
falls off.
Run down the hill and run back. This is how we get an extra workout.
Oh my gosh. But seriously, so it's either if you don't make the sacrifice, it's either because it's not a high enough priority, or you haven't planned well enough for it.
Or you just haven't thought about it, which is why we're talking about it today.
Ta-da, now you thought about
The reality is that in order to gain something, you have to give away something else, right? And the reality is that there's always a way. It's just up to you to figure out how to make that happen. There's always a way, right? So now we believe that, probably for half of you guys in the room, like you haven't thought about it before. And that's why it's important to talk about it. Because saying that you don't have time to work out, or, saying that you don't have money to invest in XYZ, look, it's a poor excuse. You just need to give up something else in order to gain that. And here's the thing, by the end of the day, the reason why we're talking about it is because we're in a mission to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, and lifestyle habits that have transformed ours. However, just because you're hearing it doesn't mean that you're going to apply it. If you want to change, then what we're talking about today is gold. However, if you're not ready to change,
you'll hear it.
And if you're not willing to change, then we can't change you. And that's just the reality of it. But the reason why we show up is because we know that if you make it this early in the morning, unless you live in the East Coast, that's a decent time for you, I get it. Then you're already sacrificing something. And it's called the time factor, right? Which means that, you are ready to take it to the next level, right? Which is why it's important that we show up and we bring it to your attention, right? Like, let's say an example of, here's the thing, like, you don't have to eat organic to be healthy, but I know that, we strive to eat organic, especially with the, Dirty Dozen and Clean 15, by no means. So yes, organic is more expensive. Look, if there's a will, there's a way. There's so many, just start thinking about how can you, and in order to make something happen, it's not a matter of I can't, it's a matter of how can I make room for this?
So that's one of the higher steps in the staircase, is the organic situation. So don't think that you have to go run out and buy all organic food and then you're going to be healthy. No. Guess what? A paleo cookie still has sugar in it. It's still a cookie.
Even if it's organic.
So, yeah, if it's organic, gluten-free, whatever, that doesn't mean it's going to help you towards your goals. It means it's a better than version of something else that's shitty. Okay, so I want to read through some comments.
Yeah. Let's go, guys. Let's go on a Monday morning.
Carissa, what's up? Lisa, Mark, Jeanette. I love all the food. Tammy, good morning.
Daisy, where are you from? Good morning, Jason.
Jason, Tom.
Good morning, Tom.
It won't mean anything to you. Probably if you don't have a reason why or something. Alcohol is a perfect example for many people I work with.
True.
Absolutely.
True.
And people think also that they can't make progress to their goals if they drink at all, which is another misconception. You absolutely can. But yes, there's some sacrifice that needs to be made. And if you're not willing, then you're not ready. That's that. If you're not willing, you're not ready. You probably have to get a little fatter and hate yourself a little bit more, which is unfortunate, but it is probably the truth. I know, because that was me. I wasn't ready until I reached a certain point. Everybody has a cap, and they're like, I'm sick of this now. Let me make a change. If you're not willing to sacrifice, you're not ready. Okay. Morning, Mike. No.
What did you do?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Almost canceled the live. That's what happened. I thought I just pressed the button here. Okay. Well, my son would wrestle. His coach would tell the boys, whoever wants it bad enough will be the one that comes out on top. Amen. You're going to fight for your life. What do you want more, to eat that temptation food on a regular, or looking the way you want to look and feeling the way you want to feel? Yep.
Janae, you know all about it. That's how you lost 100 pounds, baby.
Good morning, Lucia. I was scared to press that. I thought I was going to stop the video.
I know.
If everything is handed to you entitled, then it won't mean as much. Anything worth achieving requires sacrifice and discipline. Have to have the will No will, no way. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything.
Yes.
So if everything's handed to you, and this is a lot, like we give away a lot of free stuff, but there's a lot of stuff we don't give away for free. And if you want extra help, it comes at a price. It requires an investment, because if we give it for free, it doesn't mean anything and you don't do anything with it. And it's time wasted on both ends. Mm-hmm. You have to pay attention. Kristen, good morning. Corinne, what's up? Switch can't with won't. Fucking truth. Yup. Think about it. Next time you say the word can't, re-say your sentence with the word won't. It's gonna
hurt. And then ask yourself why.
It's gonna feel like, ugh, I don't want to say that.
Ask yourself why.
It doesn't make you a bad person either. Like that, to just be real, it doesn't make you a bad person. I'm gonna say, instead of telling somebody, oh, I can't hang out with you because I'm busy, I won't hang out with you because I'm choosing to do something else instead. Which is the truth.
Because my health priorities are higher than...
Well, for whatever the reason is.
Yeah,
you're working
I'm just giving
or whatever.
An example.
Basically, anything you choose to do is the priority. So when you say, oh, I can't hang out with you because I don't have time, it's really, I won't hang out with you because I'm doing this other thing. Or this other thing is more important than this thing. And it doesn't make you a bad person, but I think why we feel it makes us a bad person is because Americans especially are really sensitive. And we're like, I don't want to hurt your feelings, so I'm going to make up an excuse. I just find a better way to say it. This is not on this topic, but I say, hey, I'm going to skip out on this because there's other things that I'm working on right now that I really would like to finish. Right? There's nice ways to say no, basically. Same with food. Right? You get offered food and you don't want it. There's a nice way to say no. You don't have to say, I'm not eating that. I'm better than you. You know, like, no, thank you. I'd rather not. Like, replace can't with won't. Okay.
Great.
And it's so much more expensive to buy food healthy than it is to eat crap. Prime example, you can buy a TV dinner for $1. Same with McDonald's. You can feed a family of 50 for $20.
Yep.
At McDonald's. Right? Of course. And it's sad, but it's the truth. But again, like, there's
Do you guys notice something? I always say this, how you do anything is how you do anything. Do you notice that overweight people also lack discipline?
In multiple areas of life, not just food, right? But
that's because they're not willing to make sacrifices. I will choose the cheap route.
The easy route.
And the outcome is being overweight, which is, by the way, not cheap at all, because when you end up in heart surgery, which is probably like $500,000.
That's a lot of McDonald's.
Then you'll have to pay for it, right? Like, there's a price for anything. It's just a matter of what price do you prefer to pay for, basically.
Your surgery will cost a lifetime's worth of McDonald's.
And this might sound really harsh, by the way, but it's the truth.
Tammy, it's interesting. Happy hour is always penciled in and affordable. Yep. Always, right? Always got time. We know people who are really struggling with money, but would still find a way to buy booze. Think about, now, this is a group of people that I have, I always wish the best for and do my best to have compassion for, because I know that it is a struggle, but addicts of alcoholism or drugs or anything that is harmful, because somehow the money starts to go lower, but they still find a way. Why? It always comes back to, how bad do I want it? Right? They don't have money. They're probably the least people to have money for something they still somehow find a way to get. Riddle me that, Joker.
Yeah. And by the way, just for anybody who's just getting to learn about us, we're huge supporters of overcoming addiction. We have a lot of clients and friends who have been struggling with it and have overcome it. So just know that, like, we're giving a huge shout out to anybody who has been. And you're right, this is a prime example. Like, you know, our dear friend, Janine, right?
Yeah,
like
if you
she
watch
was
her
a heroin
interview-
addict, and we interviewed her about it because it's incredible. And she went to jail 5 times because she would do crazy shit because she needed to get that hit. Right? There's
You do what it
always,
takes.
Right, you do what it takes.
Yet working out always gets kicked to the curb first, and you can't afford a gym membership. It is priorities and planning. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up.
Yep.
You only learn if you show up. Well, I guess if you want to learn from us, we have to show up too, but it's a team effort. Same way with going to Starbucks. Venti mocha, it adds up, and it don't help you towards your goals. Took me 4 years to decide to lose weight, 15 months to lose 70 pounds. You have to be ready.
Nice.
Amen.
That's awesome.
You have to be ready for sure.
I
Congratulations.
want to give a great example of a sacrifice, and I also want to give a shout out to somebody. I hope that she's still in the room. Corinne.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Remember, like before, like when we did her first audit, and she's like, I drank what
the
is
tea,
it?
the matcha.
The venti matcha green tea from Starbucks,
Frappuccino or whatever.
And we're like, okay, we're going to replace that with something else. She had to make a sacrifice, and she's like, okay, cool. Corinne, give us a thumbs up if you're still in the room.
Yeah. I tell myself if I'm not changing it, I'm choosing it. It's the truth.
Good morning, Michael.
It's an investment in your life, and it should cost you. It's going to cost time, money, and people. Yes. Absolutely. And sometimes you have to pay for the people. We have gotten to the point we've gotten in our business right now because we have paid people. We give, we make sacrifice, time. People are like, oh, you guys work so much. We're like, yeah, because we're going to the fucking top. If you want to come, get your ass to work.
Yep. And we paid a lot of money to be around these people too.
We bought friends, basically.
Yeah.
Anyways, oh yes, I had a lady ask me once if I lost and kept the weight off because I just don't eat. I told her, yes, I eat, but I eat clean. Invest in your health today or your illness later. Oh. Marnie, did you make that up or did you hear that somewhere? That's amazing. Invest in your health today or your illness later.
For anybody who is in the room who is a 10Xer, can I get a 10X, please? Let me get a 10X.
It's a cult. Don't worry about it. Alcohol, smoked, vape, marijuana, all the same. Yes, totally. You'll find a way for what you want in life. It's all about what's important to you. Good morning, Mark and Tammy Ray. It costs nothing to do a push-up, run, or workout. Yes, in the park. Arnold Schwarzenegger, circa 1970s.
If there is a will, there is a way.
Amen.
That was a powerful one. If you guys have any questions right now or want to challenge us, do so at this very moment. 10X!
10Z!
Lucia, 10X!
I know there's someone else.
Michael, 10X. Is Marnie a 10Xer? If Corinne's in the room, she's
Corinne.
a 10Xer.
But anyways, I know that you want, we are doing another community builder challenge.
Yes.
Because...
So for any of you guys who are just getting to learn who we are, for one, welcome. Super grateful and honored to be your guide.
Oh, the 10Xers are going to love this.
And to have you here. Every month, we do at least one community builder challenge. And like we said before, we're on a mission to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, and lifestyle habits that have transformed ours.
Amen.
Obviously, this is a tall task. And we ask for your help. But of course, we understand that if you sacrifice your time, okay, you better get something in return. That's just the reality of it, right? So we'll be gifting you. What is the community builder challenge? Basically, what we're asking you is to invite as many people as you can
into
this group so that we can help to build a community, because obviously the bigger the community, the more impact we have. In order to do that, we want to make sure that we reward you. Okay. And every month, the reward is a supplement from X Endurance, which is a brand that we absolutely support and believe in. They make the best supplements on earth. That is exactly why Michael Phelps and incredible athletes, one of which we're going to be interviewing on Friday, take X Endurance as well. We want to introduce you guys to really the best stuff on earth. And we're going to also be giving away this month. I want it to be a consultation. Like a lifestyle audit, not just a nutrition audit, but like a lifestyle audit.
A 30-minute coaching call, basically, strategy call.
Yeah. You guys, the value of this together is over $200. We're going to be giving away the immune boost because, I mean, with everything that's going on with the coronavirus,
it's only right.
I think the immune boost is what, $65?
Yeah, something like that, 67 retail.
And then we're gonna do like a live one-on-one lifestyle audit as well, which will take anywhere between 30 to 60 minutes. That's $147 value.
So for anybody watching right now and anybody who's gonna watch later, I want to tell you too why I want this to be a record week of community building. Here's why. We've had plenty of interviews happen over the course of the Erin and Sarit show, Espresso with Us. And this week, we have actually 2 interviews, not one. One's on Thursday, one's on Friday. For the 10Xers in the house, you know who this is. If you don't know who it is, you want to know who it is, because he is LeBron James's mindset coach. And he's a mindset coach for high performing athletes. Like, so if we want to talk about money and mindset and how to really move forward in this new world that we're experiencing right now, you need to be there. His name is Richard Dolan. And he's going to be on Thursday interview. And we need to get as many people as we can into this group because everybody needs the information and the inspiration that he's going to provide.
We're going to be talking about how to start over in an economic crisis. This is going to be huge.
People pay a ridiculous amount of money to hear this guy talk for a small amount of time. Okay? Exhibit A.
Yes.
Okay?
Exhibit B.
Yes. So you need to be there because this is free for you. And the value is unbelievable.
Insane.
On Friday, Amanda Barnhart for the CrossFitters in the house. She's a CrossFit Games athlete.
Three times?
Something CrossFit ridiculous. Games athlete. And an amazing person. So we want to get, and her story is inspiring in the way that you need to train not just your body, and not just eat well, but what are the aspects of her life that have gotten her to where she is? And what are the expectations you can set for yourself to get to where you want to be? So Richard Dolan and Amanda Barnhart are going to be Thursday, Friday, back-to-back slam. This is going to be incredible. So if you can invite your entire friends list,
because we're literally going to be speaking with the most powerful people. You know, if health is important to you, then Amanda Barnhart, you're going to need to listen to it because she's literally at the pinnacle of health. Okay. Now, if money is important to you, then you need to listen to Richard Dolan. By the way, we haven't made any posts about Richard Dolan yet because we literally got a confirmation this weekend and we're like, we have to put you in.
Yep.
Okay. So this is huge. And you guys, we want to reward you because we understand that it takes, a few seconds, minutes to invite people into the group. Honestly, everybody needs to listen to this. Considering the time of the coronavirus, what are the 2 things that we're fearful most of right now? Health and money. Both of which are going to be discussed in a lot of detail this week. So please just start inviting your people. We want to reward you for it as well.
Do you see this blue button right here? Invite. Do people pop up? You see all these people you can invite? Look I'm just gonna invite some of them right now. That's all it takes. Ta-da.
So you guys, please do it for the reward. And if not for that, please, do it to support us. In fact, you know what? In order to make sure that you guys show up even more, this is something I've never done before. We haven't even discussed it yet. I want to give a prize to first and second place.
Oh, shit.
Okay, first
the
place.
Same prize? The same prize, or what were you about to say? We never plan these ahead of time.
Let's do an audit for second place. Like a lifestyle audit for second place.
And Jeanette said you will love the coaching call with them. It's the truth. Like, break it down, give you some steps. You're going to feel awesome afterwards and inspired to take actions. You guys,
earn it though. Remember, in order to gain something, you have to put something away. And right now what we're asking you is to sacrifice a little bit of your time so that we can help more people by inviting them to this group. Okay? And hopefully, if you're in the top 2, then you're going to be rewarded big time.
If you want to be in the top 2, you can be in the top 2, unless your name is Teresa Hayes and you've already invited your entire friends list like 4 times and they're getting mad at you.
Yeah.
But guess what? They're getting mad at her because she wanted something. She wanted people in this group and she went hard at it, which is awesome. So thank you guys for being here. We love you so much and we're grateful every day that you show up. We see the number of people who are live growing on a consistent basis. We see like a year ago, there was like less than a fourth of the people in this room on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And that's just live. So thank you guys so much for showing up, wanting to learn, wanting to be better. And if we help you, please let us know, send a message or a post or something, that we've helped you overcome something, because that's why we show up, and we love to know, just so that we know we're helping. And if you have questions, also post that, because we want to know how we can help more. Okay? Capiche? Perfect. So have yourselves a beautiful day. Remember, prize for first and second place, booyah, and 2 incredible interviews coming up this week. So stay tuned. We love y'all. Bye.
Ready, set, invite.